been good. I thought yesterday we had a really good practice. I mean, you got to remember that was an 8 o'clock game. I mean, you guys all know what time the game ended. That has an effect on the coaches, has an effect on the players who practice Sunday. Tuesday we come out, it's a work day, and I thought they practiced really hard. Today I felt good. I got to watch the film and then see it in more detail, but overall I thought we did some nice things. So far so good.
Coach, can you talk to me about Carl Nassib's impacts against Rutgers, pressuring the quarterback, and just what he's given you all season?
Yeah, he's been playing great. You guys know I bragged on him all summer long. He just ran out of here for class. He has class at the end of these practices, so he has to run out for the last 10 minutes. But he's doing really well. He's put the time in. He's made the commitment. He's got the right mentality. He's got the right work ethic, and all his hard work over the last 5 years are paying off in his senior year, which is how you want it to go out for guys. I like your shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
The Herb Hand Pizza Crawl Memorial T-shirt.
Right.
You mentioned on Tuesday that Christian changed some plays to the line of scrimmage. When a quarterback does that, or I guess for a coaching staff, what is the process to feel comfortable with a quarterback doing that within a game? I mean, how does he earn that trust, and what is that process like for you guys to be comfortable with a quarterback doing that?
That's really how we always do it. It's been that way since day one. This was a big part of the game plan last week because of how much they blitz. So basically, it's not like he has just the freedom just to call any play. Basically, we say we're going to run this play, and if you get this look, which we're anticipating, you're checking to this specific deal. We rep it all practice. So it's not just for him, it's to allow the offensive line to play aggressively and play confidently, that he's checking this play against this defense that we've repped all week long to allow them to anticipate why he's checking the play. Does that make sense? So it's not like he's just up at the line of scrimmage calling anything. It's specific checks for specific looks that we've worked on all week long.
You mentioned about running back being able to break tackles. Did you count the amount of tackles Barkley broke? I went back and counted. I got 13. Do you think that's a good number for 21 carries?
Well, as everybody knows here, you're the official tackle breaker counter.
I went back and looked at it. I counted it.
But we do the same thing. We track broken tackles, but the other stat that to me is the most important stat for a running back is yak yards. If the hole is wide open and a guy just runs for 80 yards and no one touches him, that's about the O-line. You know, obviously the running back having speed is important, but it's how much can you bring that the scheme and the O-line didn't get you. So that free hitter, can you make him miss or can you break tackles? And yak yards, everybody thinks is yards after contact, but depending on your style of running, like Mark Allen, for example, it's still yak yards if you make the guy miss or break the tackle, however you do it. So we track all those things, and to me, it is by far the most important statistic on grading a running back week in and week out.
So how many yak yards did he have?
I don't have the statistic in front of me. He has it.
I got that in my other notebook.
We have it. It's part of our grade sheet. So we go over the grades on Sunday each week. That's part of their grades, and that's the thing I look at, very closely. The coaches are grading, obviously, footwork and assignments and pass protection pickups and all those types of things, and then production. But part of that for running back is yak.
Can you talk about the job Akil's done, kind of being okay with Saquon getting acclimated into that position? Sometimes upperclassmen may take it as a threat, but it looks like Akil's done a pretty nice job of being okay.
We got great guys like that, like a big brother role in our program. From the time these guys show up on campus, they do a great job. They embrace it. They coach those guys up. I think you could probably go position by position, and the older guys do a really good job of helping our young guys. I think that's kind of just part of the culture here. They were taught that when they showed up on campus and so on and so forth. So that's one of the things I think is really helpful for us.
Coach, have you noticed the offensive line begin to gel since week 1 to now in practice? Or was it a quick transition? Was it gradual? Just talk to me a little bit about.
We still got a long ways to go as an offensive line. We're doing some nice things right now. We're not a finished product by any means. But yeah, you started to see it. I saw it all camp. I know it didn't show up in that first game, but I saw it all camp. I saw tremendous strides, this summer from spring ball. And then, this season, I've seen it. We didn't play well like we want to do in that game, but I've seen a maturation process happening with those guys and continue to happen. Like I've mentioned before, I do think the element of running backs making people miss and breaking tackles has also helped. It's helped. You guys have heard me talk before. If you got a great punt returner back there and he's making people miss and breaking tackles, it's amazing those other 10 guys, they play harder. No different than on kickoff return. So I think our running backs have had an impact on that as well.
San Diego State plays a pretty unpredictable style of defense. What specifically do you guys do during practice this week, especially never having faced them before, communication-wise, just to kind of prepare for that?
That's where the scout teams are so important to try to give those looks. It makes it challenging even on scout teams because typically you line up in the 4-3 and this guy has the A gap and this guy's the C gap, this guy's got the D gap, and they got responsibilities, where now it's not really that. So it's hard to get the looks that you want in practice. It's hard to completely break down the film sometimes, but it does. It creates some challenges. So that's why our team periods that we're working together and they're seeing the looks. We basically draw the cards right off the film. So Coach Donovan will do the scripts and he'll write the play that he wants, and then he'll pull up a play from the film and he'll write South Alabama play 19. And then the GAs draw up the card for that specific play with that specific defense. Does that make sense? And we try to do that with the looks that we're going to anticipate. The other thing that San Diego State does, which isn't completely unusual, is they have a blitz or two of the week that you have not seen. So they're going to give you something new each week. That's usually okay, but the combination of all the other stuff, it makes it challenging.
When you're playing a lot of younger guys that haven't been in the strength and conditioning program for a long time, but they're out on the field a lot, is there anything you have to do differently to sort of keep them fresh versus maybe a guy who's been here for 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, we played 18 freshmen this past Saturday. I don't think keeping the freshmen fresh is the issue. It's getting them strong enough to be able to compete or be able to play to their strengths right now with quickness and speed or whatever it may be. We lift during the season probably more so than most programs, so I think that helps. But those freshmen wouldn't be playing if we didn't feel like they had the strength or the maturity to handle it. So I would say the opposite. It's not about keeping them fresh. It's them playing to keep the rest of the guys on the team fresh so we don't get worn down.
How much faster is the team now than when you got here?
You got to be more aggressive.
Yeah, how much faster is the team now than when you got here? You talk about these young guys, and it looked like that's been kind of a key to getting the offense moving.
Yeah, I think we're a lot faster. I still think we have a ways to go. Our goal is to be the fastest team in the Big Ten, one of the fastest teams in the country. We've made progress there. I think you guys have seen it. I think everybody, it's pretty obvious. But we still got a ways to go. I mean, I think last year, I think some of you guys saw the record bore one at a time when you were in the weight room. I think our 4 or 5 fastest guys on the team were in last year's recruiting class. I think 4 out of 5 of them, of the fastest guys on the team, were in last year's recruiting class. So we're making progress there. We just got to keep pecking away at it. And also, from a development standpoint, our guys have done a good job. Our strength staff, our 40s are starting to come down. Our pro agilities are starting to come down as well.
Thank you.
My man.
All right, Coach. I think it was Brendan Mahan that said.
Man, just so you know, it's Man.
Brendan Mahan.
It looks like Mahan.
Yeah, said that Saquon and Akil are very good catching passes out of the backfield. Do you know when we're going to see that? How would you evaluate them as receiving backs?
Yeah, obviously that's something we want to work into the package. Just like last year, we've had to keep them in a little bit more than we would like. But yeah, we'd love for that to be a bigger part of our game plan. Okay.